悲しいほど光り出した白い闇切り裂く翼になれ
Here is our next kanji, which, as it would happen, is actually a lot more versatile than fire. We will find out why in about 3 seconds. First, let's draw this thing. It looks kind of awkward, but it's really not so bad, especially when you get used to drawing it. First, you make that straight line down, curving off slightly to the left. That curve does not have to be too conspicuous, but it really shouldn't be a line straight down. A line straight down, just straight, kind of looks funny. Then you make that stroke over to the left, that stroke that I'm not really sure how to explain, except I suppose it's a backwards C. That's what I would say it is. Then you make that little line down, a significant line, more than a dash, from the mid-right hand side down toward the middle of that vertical line, but not touching it. And then you make that curve through there, from the upper part of the vertical line down to the lower right. So, what does this kanji mean? As opposed to fire, this kanji connotes the concept of water. Water is one of those things that no matter what language you get into is always going to be an important concept because we all die without it. And as the Japanese peoples were especially concerned with the elements, water is going to have a lot of usages. So we're going to be dealing with a much greater amount of words than we did with fire. So what are the readings of this kanji? The primary readings for water are sui and mizu. In all honesty, that will cover basically every usage of this kanji, ever. I mean, I say the primary readings, allowing there to be more readings, but let me just tell you right now, you can feel very comfortable with this kanji. You're not going to see anything out of sui or mizu. So, alone, this kanji is read mizu and means water. That simple, that easy. Now, there's a lot of things we can do with this kanji. To refer to a volume of water, a specific volume of water, this is more of a chemistry term than anything, you would use the term mizukasa, which means a volume of water. It does not specify what volume, it is just a volume of water. Another chemistry term, for those of you out there that like chemistry as much as I do, ammonia mizu is aqueous ammonia. Now, again, a word to the chemistry savvy. I would not use this construction for just any aqueous solution. This is specifically referring to aqueous ammonia. Those of you that know, aqueous ammonia looks exactly like water, works similarly, and is used in a lot of situations, namely cleaning solutions, which is exactly what we're talking about here. Ammonia mizu is referring to the cleaner. So don't think that you can use that construction for any aqueous solution. I would not do that. How about a drink? Soda sui is soda water. That easy. Just say soda, which can mean soda or something else, and follow it with sui to mean soda water. When I say soda can mean something else, soda, not written in katakana, is a way of saying that's correct, that is so, right, true, you know, whatever. It's an affirmative explanation, and it's informal. Nothing wrong with it, but it would work exactly like soda, just in hiragana. A water jug is mizugame. There is a kanji for game, but we're just not going to mess with it right now. Another wonderful word, mizu tamari, is puddle. It's just fun to say, and it's fun to know. Mizu tamari, puddle. This is less self-explanatory. Mizu wo sasu. Mizu wo sasu is a verbal expression meaning to estrange people. I really can't give you an explanation as to why, but it is a verbal expression you might want to get yourself familiar with. If I'm not very much mistaken, we have not done any verbs at this point. So this would be your first. Mizu wo sasu. A word on verbs. Verbs, all of them, without exception, are going to end in a sound that derives from u. Here we have a very common example, su. The verb here is actually sasu. If you remember, the wo acts as the indirect object particle. So, oh, my bad completely, the direct object particle. Mizu wo sasu. The wo makes the mizu the direct object. Sasu means to pour. So this literally means to pour water, but if you want to say pour water, you would say something else. You would not arrange it quite like this. Mizu wo sasu does not mean to pour water. Mizu wo sasu means to estrange people. Okay, getting that fairly confusing word out of the way. Put one in front of water to get isui, which in its most common usage means a drop. This can also mean a current of water, but when you hear someone say isui, we're talking about a drop. Note that the significance of the we're talking about a single drop of water, indicated by the kanji, which connotes the concept of one. Here is another interesting concept to try and explain. Himizu literally means fire and water. But if you're talking about fire and water, you're not going to want to use this term, which sounds contradictory, but himizu has a specific usage. Himizu is an expression that denotes a sense of confliction, as incompatible as fire and water, as incompatible as himizu. When you're actually talking about the two separate elements, use the term suika. It's better. And you can pull a lot of puns with it because it just so happens that suika is how we say watermelon in Japanese. Japanese is basically the best language to pull the most absurd puns. And last but not least, we have an adjective, mizuppoi. Mizuppoi is an adjective meaning watery, soggy, water-drenched, waterlogged. It's a very useful adjective. One of those things that you will run into a situation where you want to say soggy, you're really wanting to know what the adjective is. It's this simple, mizuppoi. Don't forget the pause. That's it for water. Be sure to deal with another element next time. This is Angel of Great Pusculin signing off.